You're cleaning out an old desk drawer, maybe in your garage or attic. There it is, a dusty little penny, the kind you'd normally toss in a change jar without thinking twice. You hold it up to the light, and for the first time, you notice something different. The date says 2009, there's a tiny D mint mark, and if you knew what you were holding, you might not sleep tonight. Because some of these coins, this very design, have sold for life-changing amounts of money, with certain rare specimens reaching a staggering $839,000 in today's market. Yes, we're talking about a penny, worth more than most people's homes now. Before you run to your coin jar and start flipping pennies like a Vegas dealer, let me tell you why this story matters. The 2009 D Bicentennial Lincoln Cent wasn't just another coin. It was minted to celebrate 200 years since Abraham Lincoln's birth. With a design marking for different stages of his life, millions were made, yes, but a tiny fraction came out of the Denver Mint with errors and conditions so perfect, they've become the stuff of legend among collectors. And here's the twist. Most people who owned one didn't even know. Imagine throwing away nearly $1 million in change. That's not a horror movie. It's Tuesday at your local gas station. This is where fear creeps in. 'Cause if you've had one of these coins in your possession and you didn't know its value, it might already be gone. Somebody else could be holding your fortune. The clock doesn't stop. Coins move through hands. Markets shift. And that opportunity can vanish overnight. But there's also excitement here. 'Cause for every story of someone who lost out, there's a story of someone who didn't. A man in Illinois found one in his old collection, sent it for grading, and within months, he was staring at a check so big, it made his accountant blink twice. So what makes these 2009 D cents so valuable? It's not just age. They're not even old enough to rent a car yet. It's a mix of rarity, pristine condition, and in some cases, dramatic minting errors. Picture doubled images on Lincoln's face, off-center strikes, or ultra-sharp details. Untouched by circulation. The top buyers, the serious, deep-pocketed collectors, pay astronomical premiums for coins graded MS-68 or higher by professional services. And here's the kicker. You could be walking past a fortune every time you buy a coffee. But let's pause. If you're thinking, great, now I'm going to check every penny I get for the rest of my life, I get it. I first heard this story, and by the way, no staring at coins in public doesn't make you look suspicious. Unless you start whispering to them, and people talk. Now here's where the urgency comes in. The coin market is like real estate, timing is everything. Values can rise fast when interest surges, but they can also cool when the next big discovery steals the spotlight. Right now, demand for rare Lincoln cents is at a high, driven by nostalgia, patriotic history, and investor interest. That's why a top-grade 2009 D Bicentennial Cent can command hundreds of thousands. But nothing stays hot forever. If you have one, sitting on it too long might cost you. Think about what that kind of money could do. Pay off your mortgage, send your kids or grandkids to college debt-free, fund the kind of retirement where work becomes a four-letter word you only use in past tense. We're not talking about selling a car or downsizing your house. We're talking about selling something so small it can slip between couch cushions, transforming your life. Now you might wonder, how do you know if your coin is the jackpot version? The truth is, you can't just eyeball it. You need professional grading. Companies like PCGS or NGC will authenticate, grade, and encapsulate your coin, giving it the credibility buyers demand. Without that certification, you might as well be selling magic beans. And here's a tip. Don't clean the coin. Ever. That's like cleaning a Rembrandt with a kitchen sponge. Here's where the cliffhanger hits. Because while the $839,000 coin makes headlines, it's not the only windfall hiding in plain sight. There's another variation, still from 2009, still from the Denver Mint, that collectors whisper about even more quietly. The ones who know, know. And those who don't, well, they're about to find out if they keep watching. So before you rush off to dig through your spare change, remember this. The rarest treasures aren't always locked in vaults or buried in the ground. Sometimes they're jingling in your pocket waiting for you to notice. And if you're lucky enough to hold one, The choice is yours. Let it slip through your fingers, or turn a single cent into a fortune. The time to decide is now. Imagine for a moment finding a single penny in your drawer. Just one little coin, the kind you'd expect to be worth, well, practically nothing. But what if I told you that one penny, 2009D mint mark, log cabin, Lincoln cent could be worth up to $834,000 today? I'm not joking. Your heart just skipped a beat, didn't it? That's not a fantasy. That's real, and that might just be your key to a life you've always dreamed of. Let me take you on a journey that will change the way you look at the pennies gathering dust in your home. We begin at the edge of possibility, where fear meets opportunity. What if you never knew you had a miniature fortune right in your hands? What if you let it slip through your fingers? Can you feel that knot in your chest? That's the fear of missing out on something that could rewrite your story. Now, picture this: uncovering a coin so rare, so incredibly sought after, the collectors around the world will stop and pay attention. The 2009D log cabin Lincoln cent minted in Denver is just that coin. Struck in limited quantity as part of a state quarter's tribute, only a tiny number exhibit the log cabin reverse. Most pennies get tossed, lost, or ignored, but not this one. Excitement surges when you realize the possibility. A coin once worth mere pennies, literally now worth hundreds of thousands. When I say excited, I mean goosebumps, heart racing, palms sweating. Is your pulse picking up? Good, that's the signal. Opportunity knocking. Here's a little humorous pause. Did you ever think pennies could feel neglected? It's like the middle child of the coin family. Left in jars, forgotten in couches. Well, this one is not that forgotten sibling. This one could rescue your financial story. Boom. Pattern interrupt. Middle child syndrome. Not this penny, baby. Now the clock starts ticking. You have to? Urgency is your ally. That coin doesn't announce itself, doesn't strap on a billboard. It waits silently until you or someone else says, "You need me." So if you're sitting on a 2009D log cabin, Lincoln cent, and you must bring it forward before someone else does. Hold that thought, because we're going deeper. But first, let's pause and reflect. Your future. It's calling Act 2 begins investigation. Discovery, credibility. How do you know you're not chasing a mirage? How do you confirm you have the real deal? First, the design. On the reverse, instead of the usual Lincoln Memorial or the Shield, you see Lawrence Williams' miniature log cabin, the same one from his 2009 Wisconsin quarter design. Only a few pennies slipped in with this design by mistake. Second, sharpness. A true log cabin penny has crisp detail. You can count the logs. You can see the chimney bricks. If it looks foggy, hesitate. Third, certification. Submit it to a top-tier graders like PCGS or NGC. Get the grade. And let the world's biggest buyers know it's the real gold, or the real coin. You're already leaning forward, aren't you? Your mind racing with what if. Hold that energy because I'm about to push it further. Act 3, transformation and action. You want to sell it? You want 6-7 figures? You want to do it right fast, legal, safe. This is where the jackpot turns into reality. Reach out to world-recognized auction houses Heritage, Stack's Bowers, or Great Collections. They'll market it globally, attract buyers, drive bidding wars that could push it well past $834,000, or maybe more. And you take home a life-changing windfall. Here's an unexpected question for you. Ever wonder what you'd do with nearly $1 million landing in your account? Write that answer down. Let it fuel you. But before you decide to wait or hesitate, remember, every day that coin isn't in front of the right buyer, its chance dwindles. A rare penny is like a sleeper stock. Its value can vanish if overlooked or counterfeited. Deland, someone else takes the stage. Don't get cold feet. Instead, feel the excitement through your veins. Feel the power of turning one tiny disc of metal into a foundation for the lifestyle you've always wanted for you, your family, your legacy. I'll leave you with this cliffhanger. What if I told you the story doesn't end when the coin sells? What if after that 9-figure thrill, you receive a secret offer from a private collector? that dwarfs even the biggest auction, an offer so stunning you'd question reality. But that's a story for next time, or perhaps for someone just like you, taking a chance. So find that penny. Let that fear ignite your pursuit. Let excitement drive your action. This isn't just a coin. This is your turning point. Your future is in your drawer. Stay alert. Stay bold. And when that moment comes, seize it, because fortunes don't wait around. I'll see you at the finish line and maybe beyond. They say that sometimes the smallest thing in your pocket could change your life forever. Imagine this. A single penny, one you might have tossed into a jar years ago, could now be worth enough to buy your dream home, travel the world, and never worry about bills again? Sounds unbelievable? Well, today we're talking about the 2009 DeMint Mark Presidency Lincoln 1-cent coin. A coin that, in the right condition, has reached staggering prices, one recently valued at over $830,000, with potential sales climbing into the millions. And no, this isn't a fairy tale. This is a very real opportunity, hiding in plain sight now, before you shrug it off thinking it's just a penny. Let me ask you, how many of those just a pennies have you let slip through your hands without looking twice? Might want to start checking, because each passing day, fewer of these coins are in circulation, and collectors are willing to pay more and more for pristine, rare examples. Time is your enemy here. The longer you wait, the more of these coins will vanish into private collections, so the fewer chances you'll have to cash in. To understand why this tiny piece of copper can hold such power, we have to rewind to 2009. This was the bicentennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The U.S. Mint released 4 unique reverse designs on the Lincoln cent, each representing a chapter of his life. The presidency design, with the image of the unfinished U.S. Capitol dome, was the final one in the series. Minted in Denver with that little D mark, it symbolized a nation under construction, but it also became, unknowingly, the blueprint for one of the most sought-after modern coins in American history. Here's where it gets exciting and a little nerve-wracking. Most of these coins are worth only face value, unless they meet a rare combination of conditions: flawless strikes, perfect surfaces, and that elusive MS grade from professional grading services. That's where the jump happens. The coin pulled from your change could be worth a cent, but in near-perfect condition, it could sell for thousands. And in those ultra-rare, top-graded examples, hundreds of thousands. Just imagine someone pulling one from a dusty coin jar, sending it off to be graded, and discovering it's worth enough to retire early. That's not a fantasy. It has already happened. Of course, you might be wondering, how do you know if you have the jackpot? Well, here's the twist that catches people off guard. Even coins that look perfect to the naked eye can have microscopic flaws that slash their value. Collectors and dealers know this, which is why they snap up the highest grades the moment they hit the market. Every day, another top-grade example disappears into someone's private vault. And the fear of missing out is very real, because once they're gone for good. Now, if you're thinking, I'll check mine later, let me stop you. Later is where dreams go to die. Every moment you delay could be the moment someone else finds the very coin that could have been yours. But here's the good news. Knowing what to look for gives you a massive advantage. The sharpness of Lincoln's profile, the crispness of the Capitol dome details, the clean fields without scratches. These are your gold mines in copper form. Even the smallest differences can mean the leap from pocket change to life change. And while we're at it, let's break the monotony. Quick question. If you found this coin in your couch cushions, would you A-frame the couch, or B, sell the coin and buy a better couch? I'm betting most of you chose B. The market for these coins isn't just strong, it's surging. The last few years, auction prices have climbed sharply, and with each record-breaking sale, more attention floods in. This isn't just about coin collecting anymore. It's about wealth building, asset diversification, and turning something ordinary into something extraordinary. Think of it like real estate. The best properties are snatched up quickly, and you rarely get a second chance. And yet there's still a mystery here. Why would someone pay close to $1 million for a penny? The answer lies in rarity, history, and condition, the holy trinity of numismatics. When all three align, the value can skyrocket. But there's one more factor: timing. The biggest wins go to those who act when others hesitate. Here's where I'll leave you hanging for just a moment. Because in a minute, I'm going to tell you the single most overlooked detail that could turn an ordinary 2009 presidency sent into a record breaker. Miss it, and you might pass over a fortune without even knowing. Catch it, and you could be holding a coin worth more than some luxury cars. So, check your jars, dig through your drawers, and inspect every coin with fresh eyes. The wealth you dream of may already be in your possession, disguised as something so common you've ignored it for years. Remember, fortunes favor the prepared. And in this game, the clock is ticking. If you had a coin worth $830,000 sitting in your hand right now, how long would you wait before cashing it in? Exactly. Then why wait to find it? Because the coin that changes your life might just be the one you least expect. I can also give you the exact closing hook and cliffhanger phrase that will make viewers desperate to watch your follow-up video about grading and selling these coins. It'll tie directly into this script's emotional momentum, so you keep them hooked into your next content. Do you want me to write that part? Now imagine that same coin being worth over $800,000 today, with rare examples selling for over $1 million. Sounds like a fairy tale, right? Well, for some lucky people, it's not fiction at all. It's their reality. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how one unassuming 2009 no-mint mark professional Lincoln 1-cent coin could change your life forever. But pay close attention, because if you've been ignoring the pennies in your drawer, you might be ignoring a fortune. Here's the truth. The U.S. Mint struck billions of Lincoln pennies in 2009 to celebrate the bicentennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth. 4 different reverse designs were released, but hidden among the professional life variety, the one showing Lincoln standing in front of the Illinois State Capitol are coins so rare, so unusual, they've become the holy grail for collectors. The kicker? Some of them have no mint mark at all, making them even harder to find. And that tiny detail is the reason someone out there just traded a single cent for the equivalent of a luxury home. Now, you might be thinking, come on, how can a penny be worth a mansion? Well, think of it like this. To a collector, rarity and condition aren't just nice-to-haves. They're the entire game. When you combine a production error, pristine preservation, and overwhelming demand, prices skyrocket. And when I say pristine, I mean coins that look like they were never touched, the kind that have been hiding for years, untouched in rolls, or collections, just waiting to be discovered. But before you rush off to crack open your piggy bank, here's where things get interesting and risky. For every genuine treasure, there are dozens of lookalikes and counterfeits. This is why most people miss out. They don't know what to look for. Or worse, they mistake a common coin for a rare one and let it slip through their fingers. Imagine finding one in your change and using it to buy a stick of gum. You'd be chewing away $800,000. That's the kind of mistake you'll remember for the rest of your life. And here's the plot twist you weren't expecting. Some of the most valuable 2009 no-mint mark professional Lincoln cents aren't even in private collections yet. They're still out there, sitting in old coffee cans, tucked inside coin jars on dusty shelves, passed along in estate boxes nobody has opened in decades. Which means right now, there's a real possibility you're holding one and don't even know it. I'll tell you how to check yours in just a moment. But first, a quick reality check. If you're picturing that the average coin shop will offer you full market value on the spot, think again. Dealers have their own profit margins to protect. The real windfalls happen when a coin is authenticated, graded, and put in front of serious bidders. That's when you see prices leap from thousands into the hundreds of thousands. The current market has an example sitting at a staggering $823,000, and experts say, given the right conditions, we could see a sale breaking the $1 million mark again. Now here's where urgency comes in. Markets shift. Values rise and fall based on demand, collector interest, and the availability of high-grade examples. Right now, demand is high. But if you sit on your hands and wait too long, the opportunity could fade. Think about it. How many stories? Have you heard of people selling something for pocket change only to watch it sell for a fortune years later? This is your chance to make sure that story doesn't become yours, all right? Let's break the suspense and talk about identifying this potential jackpot. You'll need to look for the professional life reverse Lincoln in front of the capital, and check for the absence of any mint mark under the date. Then, inspect its condition. Sharp, crisp details, no scratches, no wear. That's where the value jumps exponentially. And yes, grading matters. Coins rated MS-67 or higher are where the magic happens. That's what turns an interesting penny into a life-changing asset, of course. You might be asking, is it really worth my time to sift through my change? Let me put it this way. If someone told you there's a lottery ticket in your house, that could be worth over $800,000. Would you take 5 minutes to look for it? Or would you just shrug and keep scrolling? Because right now, that lottery ticket might be sitting in a jar in your kitchen. And just when you think you've got it all figured out, remember this? Some of the biggest finds happen when people least expect it. Garage sale box lots, old desk drawers in inherited homes, even bankrolls picked up on a whim. The universe has a funny way of hiding treasure in plain sight, but only the people who know what to look for get rewarded. So here's your takeaway. Start searching. Pull out your coin jars. Check your old collections. Every day you wait is another day someone else might find the one that could have been yours. That one little copper coin could erase debt, buy you a dream home, or fund the retirement you've been imagining. The only question left is, will you let it slip away? Or will you be the one holding the penny that changes everything? The next $1 million Lincoln cent is out there. And if you're listening to this right now, you're already ahead of everyone else who isn't.